What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing 3 looks with the 35O3 Fierce by Nature palette from Morphe. It's been a minute since I worked with a Morphe palette, so I figured I would pick this up and give it a shot, see where we stand on the Morphe formula these days. I feel like Morphe used to be the shit as far as decent quality for a good price, but like ColourPop has really snuck its way in there and it's really hard to live up to ColourPop's shadows, so we'll see today what we think. The color layout in this is something that is really resonating with me right now though, so I think we should at the very least get some fun looks out of it. As always, I will timestamp each look down below. I'll also list everything else that I'm wearing on my face down below. That way you have all that at your little fingertips if you need it. I'll also timestamp the end where I do a little bit of a review, a little recap on what I think of the palette after using it 3 times. I think that's a good way to get a very thorough first impression. Before we get into it, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second, because it's very helpful to me. And also go ahead and subscribe for more videos like this, or sometimes me just rambling while I do makeup about my pizza order, or my book series, which will be coming back eventually. I'm working on it. Those of you who are waiting, do not worry, I am working on it. Or just pictures of my dog. I mean, look at him. Look at that face. Not a ton of info to get out of the way before we start today, so let's just jump right in and get started on look number 1, which also happens to be this look that I'm still wearing, with the 35O3 Fierce by Nature palette from Morphe. So this is what the 35O3 looks like on the inside. We have some classic 35O-ish tones, but we have a pop of green in this one. And it just occurred to me when I opened this up that this is not too different than the ABH Norvina Volume 3, which I have right here, just in case you want to see those two next to each other. Obviously, Norvina Volume 3 has a lot more variety in it, and it also has a lot more greens in it, but the concept in general is very similar, which is difficult for me because I just created looks with that kind of color palette 1 video ago, and my creative process is going to be challenged today. But I do love that combination as it turns out, so it should be still a good time. Maybe if $60 isn't in the cards for you, then the Morphe one will make more sense, so hopefully this will be helpful. To start this look, I'm going to go into the shade Ferocious, and I'm going to pick up my BH number 6, and I'm going to start using that in the crease area. And I'm going to blend the top edge of that out with a clean brush. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Ignition. I'm going to put that through the crease and pop a little bit of it on the outer corner. On my Sigma E36, I'm going to go into the shade Hypnotic. I'm going to add some depth with that. I'm also going to go into a little bit of In Command here. It's a little bit lighter, so it should be a nice little extra accompaniment to that darker shade to help it blend into the other crease shades. I'm going to do something similar to what I did in the second look in our last video, where I cut just the inner corner and then spread the concealer out so that it just becomes a clean base for us to put more colors down on the lid. So it gives us a tiny bit of structure right in the inside, but also just gives us a place to put something down that's going to be really bright and really pew, 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 pop, 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 you know? Color combination that I want to do today is inspired by, do you ever see a red maple this time of year when it becomes like that, like really bright pinky burgundy red, and then it like fades into different darker reds and oranges and yellows? That's what I want this to look like. I'm going to go into this shade Unstoppable right here, that nice neon berry pink. Taking that on a flat brush, I'm just going to put that on the inner corner area of where we put down that concealer. Ooh, hey now. On the same brush, I'm going to go into Red Alert, which is a little bit more of a true red than a pink. I'm going to pat that down next to that. Next, I'm going to pick up the same brush and go into Warning Label. It's going to tap that right between that red and the brown that we put down. I added some concealer, and for the lower lash line, I want to bring more of these bright reds into like the blend, if that makes sense. So I'm going to grab my LUXE 141, what are you? 121. I'm going to go back into Red Alert, and I'm going to start blending out the lower lash line with that shade. Then I'm gonna go back into Unstoppable again. Do the same with that, but on the inner portion. And blend that whole area out with a clean blending brush. I'm also going to make sure I tip my head back and blend in my eye wrinkles, because that's the thing I have to do now that I'm getting older. On a pencil brush, I'm gonna go back into Hypnotic again. One thing that annoys me about these Morphe palettes is they're so big that when I have to show the shade on camera, I'm like, huh. I'm just gonna take a pencil brush and I'm gonna put that real close to the lower lash line. For the waterline, I'm gonna grab Urban Decay Alkaline. This one's gonna be showing its face a lot for these fall looks because it just makes a lot of sense with these shades. Lower lash line, and put a little bit on the top too. I'm gonna take an e.l.f. pencil brush and we're gonna go into this glitter shade in the middle, Make Believe. I don't know if this one is eye safe. It doesn't seem like it's not according to the back, but I'm only using a tiny bit, so I'm gonna take the risk. I just want to add a little bit of a different texture because we did use all mattes so far. So I'm gonna take that on that little e.l.f. brush and I'm gonna pop it right underneath the tear duct on the lower lash line. I actually really like the color of that because it's like kind of just like coppery and it's really vibing nicely with these reds. Ooh. I put on House of Lashes Iconic Light Lashes because I wanted that flare shape, but I figured since we have such like a nice pop of red, why cover it with too much? So I went with a little bit of a lighter lash today. So I think this is gonna be very pretty with a warm brownish nude. I'm gonna use a color that I used recently in another video. This is ASHTON Liquid Lipstick from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This time I'm gonna pair it with a more nudish orange tone. This is Body Language from NABLA. And this is the first look. It's the next morning and I felt like I needed to make mention that the pink in the first look stained my lids so much. It was like, it was actually amazing, to be honest with you. It was a perfect print of the pink inner corner that we did. It was literally perfect. I got most of it off before I was supposed to leave to go to the gym, but if you look close, you could still even see it this morning. And I washed my face a second time last night and I took 2 showers. So it was sister stain. Like I always say, that doesn't really bother me. It's just part of the gig when you're making YouTube videos with bright colors in your eyes all the time. So for look number 2, I want to keep the tones warm again. I will dip into those green shades, I promise. They're gonna be like the feature part of look number 3. So if you're waiting for those, stand by. I promise I'm gonna use them. But for this one, I wanna keep it warm again, but maybe make the tones a little bit more orange than red, a little more brown, you know? And I also wanna use the glitter that's in here. So I'm gonna take my BH number 6 and I'm gonna go into the shade Major Hottie. I don't know why, but I hate the word hottie. It's just, you know how some words just get under your skin? I fucking hate the word hottie. Why? Why does it bother me so much? I just hate it. I also hate the word panties. I'm gonna grab that color. I'm not saying the name again. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna put that through the crease area of my BH number 6 and blend with a clean brush. I'm gonna take my MAC 221 brush and I'm gonna go into the shade In Command. We used just a touch of this one in the last look. I'm gonna pack that on the outside and inside of the lid and then bring it through the crease. I'm gonna grab my MAC 242 and I'm gonna go into the shade Stun Wild. I wet that with a little bit of Fix Plus and I'm gonna put that right in the center of the lid. Ooh, that shade's really nice. I'm gonna take the same brush, I just cleaned it off on my color switch, and I'm gonna go into the shade Inferno. I'm also going to wet that with a little bit of Fix Plus, and I'm gonna put that down on either side of where we put down Stun Wild. I wanna deepen up the crease and the outer corners a little bit more, so I'm gonna use the shade Hypnotic. I'm using that on a Sigma E36. I'm gonna pop that right on the outer corner, and then bring it through the crease. Next, I'm going to use the glitter shade Make Believe. I'm going to start by picking that up on my finger. According to the back of the box, this glitter is eye safe, so that's good news. I'm going to start by pressing it into the center of the lid with my finger, or apparently I'm not, because it's just going to stick to my finger and not come off at all. I'm going to take a little bit of the NYX glitter primer and just tap it onto the center. Okay, let's try again. That time it worked. There we go. I'm gonna see if I could use it on a stippling brush the way I did in the ColourPop So Jaded video. Yeah, that seems to work. But straight from the finger onto the eye, you need a glitter glue because it just doesn't come off. So that's interesting. There was a little bit of fallout, especially with the glitter, but that's all cleaned up now. I'm gonna go into warning label on my MAC 221 brush. I'm just gonna run that underneath. For the waterline, I want to use a coppery shade to complement the coppery shades on the lid. So I'm gonna grab Lucky from Urban Decay in their 24/7 pencils. And I'm also going to go back into the pressed glitter Make Believe, but this time I'm gonna use it on a small brush. So this is a LUXE 141 Mini. I'm gonna dip into that and just press it over that color on the lower lashes. I really like the way Make Believe looks over warning label. I think that's a lovely combo. And on that same brush, I'm gonna go back into that color again, and I'm gonna pack it a little bit more densely just in the inner corner where we don't have any other shade down under it. That'll kind of give it a bit of a brighter effect than it did on the rest of the lid. For lashes, I put on House of Lashes Midnight Luxe. I felt like the more round spikiness of them was good for this look. Why? I don't know, they just felt right. For the lip, I want to be a fiery bitch today. I don't know why, this just inspired me. It's got like campfire color vibes, and you know what I want to wear? I want to wear my power red. This is the Fenty Stunna lip paint in the color Uncensored. The beauty of the Fenty Stunna lip paints is that you really don't need a liner with them because they're like intensely pigmented. So I'm just gonna go straight in with this today. It's also really dirty and I gotta clean it off. It's got lash glue on it. That's embarrassing. Okay, let's put it on my lips. And that is look number 2. We're ready for look number 3. I mean, except I have like glitter stragglers in my lower lash line, but we're gonna go over them with other things. It'll be like it never even happened. I'm gonna start with my beige number 6 again, and I'm gonna go into the shade Flame Game. It's a little bit more on the orange side. Barbara is not here so far today, but let me tell you, her twin sister is hanging out on my left eye. But what her name is, please feel free to name her in the comments. That's quite orange, quite orange. On my MAC 221, I'm gonna go into the brown shade Disrupt. Use that to add a little bit of depth and definition. On my Sigma E36, I'm gonna go into Ignition and do the same thing, but a little bit more concentrated. You guys know the drill by now. I'm gonna continue that depth and definition with an even deeper shade. So I'm gonna go into the color Jolt. That's a handy shade to have in a palette. Lately, just like in the first look, I've been doing a very small cut on the inner corner of the eye to give a space for more color and to add just a little bit of definition to the look without doing like a full-on half cut crease. Today I want to do a cut, like kind of here, but not all the way into the inner corner and not all the way out, like kind of just there. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's about to be a thing. I grab a white gel liner and use my NABLA cut crease maker brush. So let's see if we can make that a thing. Okay, the shape is kind of working, but this gel liner is so old and it's just not sitting right on my lid. So I'm actually gonna wipe it away with a makeup wipe, go back in and do kind of the same thing with a concealer, and then we will continue this look because this is just, no, it's a no from me. So is cutting just that part a thing? Inconclusive so far because we haven't actually put down the rest of the shades that I have like kicking around in my head. So my MAC 221 flat brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Come Alive, which is the bright, cool, neon, fun green in this palette. Oh, it's the pop of color we were all waiting for. I'm gonna pack that directly over where I put down that concealer. I'm gonna just tap out any creases first because your girl's got crinkly lids. gonna take a clean pencil brush, or clean-ish pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Power Play, which is the green shimmer. I'm gonna use that to highlight the inner corner and also kind of diffuse the shape on the inner corner. I didn't necessarily want it to be cut as much. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Barbara has arrived. All right, I'm gonna take that shimmer, I'm gonna put it all the way over the inner corner, over the matte green shade, because I have come to realize that when the watery inner corner happens, shimmers hide it a lot better than mattes, especially matte neons. Matte neons seem to like absorb it and turn 37 different colors that I hate. So go all the way over that. All right, so just wanted to check in real quick while I'm still working on this eye, because although Barbara did ruin our day on this eye is not watering and it is still changing color. It's like the green is like picking up the primer and turning a darker green in the outer portions, but like kind of in a patchy way. Sometimes I've noticed that that happens with neon shades, and it usually happens like around the outer perimeter, but it's happening in like a weird uneven way with this color, and it's making it very, very difficult to work with. All right, this is so not what I was planning to do with this look, and the green is still a little bit patchy, but we're gonna roll with it because the show must go on. I'm gonna take my LUXE 121 brush and I'm gonna go back into Major Hottie, in spite of my hatred for that name. I'm going to sweep that under my lower lashes. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and go into the shade Stamina. I'm gonna use that just to define the outer corner of the lower lashes. For the waterline, I think I'm going to take it dark and sultry. So I'm going to grab my MAC Technicolor liner in black and just run that through the waterline. Grab that same pencil brush with a little bit more of the shade Domination on it and just rub that through the lower lashes. And on a different pencil brush, the one I used earlier, I'm going to go back into the green shimmer Power Play, and I'm going to use that to just bring that around the bottom portion of the inner corner and blend that into what we did on the lower lash line. This was partially more what my intended effect was to begin with, but you know, such is life. Put on House of Lashes Iconic Light again. I've been loving these lately. I kind of like fell off the Iconic Light bandwagon for a little while. Ooh, I'm back. I'm back, baby. Using the Fenty Uncensored lip paint just reminded me in the last look of how much I love the uncensored lip paints just by themselves. So for this look, I'm going right in with Unbutton with no liner. Give me a nice nude lip, and that's the plan. And in spite of a watery eye, a patchy color, a little change of plans, and the trials and tribulations that we faced along the way, this is the third look. And you know what? I still like it. So now that the three looks are done, my thoughts on this palette are as follows. The colors that I used in the first look had me absolutely shook. I watched that footage back last night after I filmed, and I was like, holy shit, it looks like red velvet on my eyelids. Like, I couldn't believe how beautiful those shades looked. The other shades in here, they're mostly fine, except the one that was super disappointing is Come Alive, which I feel like unfortunately is the color that a lot of people probably bought this palette for, because it's like an interesting pop among the rest of these warm shades. The shimmer green Power Play was fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but that alone isn't like a really like rich pop of color. I think that pairing it with the other green would have been ideal. But Come Alive, just, I don't know, maybe I'll try it again in different circumstances, but it just didn't perform well. It kind of just blended away. It was very uneven once it settled onto my lid. It was like as if it was like absorbing all of the moisture in the room around it in like patchy. It was just really It just didn't look cute. She's not cute. The pressed glitter make-believe, if you apply it with your finger, you're going to need to use a glitter primer under it. It seems like it's because it sticks to the oils of your finger really quickly. I did notice that when I used a brush, it applied well, but if you want that like dense application that you get from a finger, maybe use one of these little silicone glitter appliers. I almost said appliers, but maybe that would be a better option. But there's also always the option of using a glitter primer just to create a little bit of stickiness underneath it. That worked just fine. As far as comparing this to Norvina Volume 3, the quality of Norvina Volume 3 is honestly, it's obviously a lot better. If you're on a budget and you like the color story, then this could be a good option for you too. I just wouldn't suggest picking this up if you're solely looking for the matte bright green in here, because I don't think in that case that it's worth it. You could definitely get a matte bright green in a different palette that's better. If you're just looking for the reds and the bronzes though, this is the shit. Just don't depend on the green. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you picked up this palette, if you picked up Norvina Volume 3, what you thought. Do you have both? Can you compare them? Do you like the combination of these warm tones with that pop of green? I'd love to know your opinion in the comments down below. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking just a quick little moment to do that, because it's very helpful and I would really appreciate it. And also, if you are new around here, please go ahead and subscribe, because I would love to have you around for more videos and more and more and more and more and more and more and more. If you want to keep up with me between these videos, you can go ahead and find me on Instagram. I'm at Ms. Quinface over there. I post behind the scenes PR unboxings, and that's also where I post my more intricate makeup looks and my lip art, some little mini videos, stuff like that. So if you don't want to miss out on that, come find me over there. I would love to have you. That's all for now. I'm gonna go out for a walk in the woods because it is a beautiful fall day outside, and I'm gonna wear this makeup. And if anybody thinks that that's extra, well, they're right, but I don't care. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one. For the inner because I feel weird. I know son of I don't know if anybody even gives a shit, but if you do, you're welcome. My lash just moved in a weird way, and I can feel what the just got a breeze of color to blend our other shades out into. A breeze of color? Really? God only knows where the road takes us after that. Oh God, this is not good. Oh God, it's not good. How could you be so ugly and so tenacious at the same time? Hey, who are you? What are you? Who are you? What are you?